Okay, so good morning everyone. So now we are going to make our second case model. And for this time it will be about a rocket. Just like what we did before. Before we start to do the modeling, we have to check the model unit set. So let's go to options and go to unit, model, and make sure right now we are working on centimeters. And for the absolute tolerance, well, and also display precisions, you can change that probably into something like this, right? And click OK. So now we are working in a centimeter world. Next thing is we need to find some reference image. I have already found some of the reference image, and also I hope we can take a look about the reference model here. Let's go to random mode. So as far as I can see, this one actually doesn't have much details. It's more like a, let's say, it's more like a cartoon style rocket. But for sure, we will going to add some more detail here and make this one has more uh, detailed design on the surface, on the geometry, and make this one more complicated. So that's our target. So let's go to shading mode again and using command bar, type in picture, right? I have already found some reference, so I'm going to import them inside and you can import yours. First things I'm going to import this cartoon rocket side views. So we can using all these elements into our rocket design. And also, I also found some realistic rocket image that can be our reference. So let's use in picture again, picture, and choosing this one and this one. Okay, I think that's all. So let's just using the oldest rocket as a oldest rocket image as my reference. And let's take a look. Basically, we need to start with the basic shape first, just like what we did before. If you remember, when we're working on our tank design, first things we start with our simple geometry and then make more detail. So the logic is pretty much the same. So for this time, I think we can try to combine this and this one together. Okay, so that's my target. This one looks more complicated, so I think this one is more challenging. So basically I'm going to make this rocket has three sections just like this, and also on the top side it will have this kind of shape in a border. So that's the things I'm going to do. And also on the side of the rocket, I'm going to create two more smaller injectors that can, or engines which can help this the rocket to balance. And finally, creating something like wings. So that's the things we are going to do. And for the rocket, obviously we don't know the specific details and also the dimensions of the rocket. So we can just base on our visual sense. So for example, let's assume this one probably actually it's supposed to be huge since this one have to we need to put some people inside. So this one's supposed to be huge. But right now it's a little bit hard to imagine how big it is. So let's just using this one as a reference, okay? Let's using bounding box. So basically it's very small. The radius is only around 150 centimeter and the height is 200. So actually it's pretty small, but that's okay. Let's just using this one. So just start with simple primitive. So let's using cylinder. This time let's use a cylinder. And we can using turn off the project because we don't need that now. If you want to make your object located in the center point, we can turn on grid snap. So it will snap on the grid. So now let's define the size of the rocket. The first one, I think it can be, the radius could be 50. And the height, let's assume this one 150. That's the first one. And for the second one, let's just copy one more and probably make this one smaller into 0.5 times smaller. Okay, probably still a little bit too much, so let's use in 0.75. Sorry, in the Z direction. Okay, so this is the second segment. And for the final one, how can we do that? Because we are going to make a weird shape like this. So how can we do that? Actually, it's very simple. If you remember, we have already do that before. So first thing is, the way I wanna do is using sweep, the under surface, sweep one rails. So in order to make sweep, I need to find some reference. So first thing, I want to find the center point of this geometry. Okay, so now we got the center point of this cylinder. Second thing, let's choosing a circle. Draw a circle. This one will be our rail line. Alright. And third thing is I'm going to draw a vertical axis in the center. So let's go to the side view and draw a vertical line in the center. And finally, I think you already know how I'm going to do. Let's just draw the section curve. Okay, and you can adjust that. Just using control vertex to change the shape of the geometries. If you want to make this one more complicated, it's up to you, but I will just keep like that. Probably just bend a little bit, it will look good. Okay, and also for this part, I think it can be longer, so let's try to make this one probably 1.2 longer. And yeah, that's all. So the next thing is probably we can make the head part a little bit shorter. Let's go to front view and make this one shorter. Let's using move tool, move the curve here. If you think the vertex is too much, well, there are too many vertices, you can just delete that. Alright, so I will keep this one like this. Right, looks like a candle or something. But before we do the sweep, we have to cut off the intersection part right here. So let's go to front view using trim, choosing the curve, press enter, delete this part. Okay, so the next part, let's using surface sweep one. Choosing the rail curve first, press and choosing the section curve, press enter. And now we will get a shape like this. Okay, and for the next part, I want to keep the distance between each sections. So for this one, I will going to use a move tool, or you can find right here, move this one down, and probably for every section, I think the space between them is supposed to be around 10 or something. Okay, that's good. For this one as well, let's use a move this one down. And let's go up 10. Okay, so pretty much finished, and I hope this part can be solid. So let's using cap this part and delete the section line, and for the center line I will keep like that. So the next thing is I want to create a joint in the center part. So let's hold on your shift and alt key, and we can do the copy and duplication. And also we have to make this one longer, so make this one longer, just like this. Okay, so now we have. And for the bottom area, they're supposed to have some injector on the bottom side. So how can we do that? Well, for sure I want to make some detail right now, so let's try to make more segment. Hold on shift and alt key, copy one more cylinder, make this one shorter, move this one up. Sorry, we have to use in duplicate. Hold on your auto and shift key, auto and shift key, move this one down. Okay, and then scale down in the Z directions. Hold on your shift key, enlarge this part. Alright, something like this. So for the next part, I'm going to create some injectors. So how can we do that? Very simple, just like what we did before. Let's hold on shift and auto key, move one more. Oh, sometimes so hard to copy. That's okay, let's just Ctrl C, Ctrl V, copy one more stuff, and move this one down, make this one longer. Hold on your shift and Ctrl key, select the face of the cylinder. Hold on shift key, make the upper area smaller. So now we have the shape of the injector. Make this one shorter. Okay, and copy one more. Two more. We can control the distance. So let's hold on auto key, move this one down, which means negative, probably 20 or something, 25, 30. Let's do that again. Okay, so now we have. So basically, right now we have the basic geometry shape like this, but also I want to have something like that, which means the side rocket. So how can we do that? Right now, all the things here, they are still separated. So right now we don't have to join them together. I just keep them separated. And so it will be easier for us to control. So for the next part, let's try to make the side rocket, all right? I think it's pretty much the same. We can just using this one to do that. So let's copy one more, pull this one to the side, and go to front view or side view. Probably I'd like to make this one longer, just like this. And actually, if you have this function, you can try to use that. Type in point, solid point on, solid PT on. For this one, we can turn on the control vertex of the geometry. So you can use in this way to control the shape, right? But it's not a very precise way, so usually I don't do that very often. So, but if you want to quickly change the geometry, well, you can try to use that. All right. Anyway, I'm going to turn off that because I think it's not that useful. So let's go to the side view. Now we make this one longer. I think the shape looks fairly okay. So I'm going to scale down this one. Probably let's put the rocket here. And also let's use a mirror tool or rotation tools. Let's use in rotation, copy rotation. I want to copy the side rocket into another 3 different positions. So if you remember, let's use in rotate. And the copy we have to change to yes. Choosing a center point, choosing the reference point. This is the first one, second one, the final one. Alright, so now we have, okay? So basically for now we already have the side rocket. And final thing, we have to connect the side rocket with our rocket body. So how can we do that? Very simple. Let's just use in rectangles, or you can use in surface as well, but I want to use in rectangle curve. Remember, this is curve, not the surface. So let's try to draw a reference rectangle here, okay? And this is the shape of the wings. So I want to make this one looks like a T shape or something else, something like that. And probably right here, let's also move this one up, okay? Just like this. And once you finish, let's go to the front view. I want to move this one down, so let's try using gumbo, move this one down probably to this position. Actually, I hope this part can be really precise intersected. So let's turn on project so that we can find out the intersection point between this curve and this cylinder. So let's choose this one, type in move this one down. Okay. So final things, let's try to make this one become a solid geometry. And also, actually, we forget to do one thing. When we are copy, actually, we should change this one into block because it will help us when once we want to change one side rocket and all the rest will be changed. So let's do this, okay? First thing is let's type in planar surface and make this one planar surface here. Make this one become a solid geometry. And we don't need the curve anymore, so that we can just delete that. Next part, let's type in offset surface, so we can extrude, make this surface become a solid object. And I want to extrude in both sides, so which means in this side and also that side, it will extrude probably for 2.5 centimeter. It's a little bit too thin, but well, actually it looks fairly okay. All right. So let's assume this one has been done. So let's go to here, choosing both of them, Ctrl G, make them become a group. After that, type in block. Let's choosing this object, enter, and choosing turn off the project right now, okay? Otherwise, you will all of your operation will be snapped to the XY plane. So choosing one of the point and type in side rocket, that's the name of the block. Click OK. Alright, so now let's delete all this part and go to the top view. Go to transform, rotate, and let's redo the rotation again. Press enter, choosing a center point, choosing a reference point. I think it's here. Rotate 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now we have. Okay, looks fairly okay. Not very beautiful, but I would say that's the basic shape. And then let's turn off the ISO curve, so it will be well, probably not that annoying because it will cover our visions. And also I want to do probably the injector in the bottom of the side rocket. So let's go to block edit mode. Hold on your shift control key, select the bottom face, place extrusions 1 time, again 2 times. Select the bottom face, make this part smaller. Alright, so now we have. So basically, let's go. I think the basic shape is pretty much done. And if you want to add more detail, you can take a look of the reference image right here. I think there are a lot of different reference, and this is the Indian rocket. I think it doesn't matter. You can choose any country's rocket to do that. NASA, China, Japan, or India. Both of them are fine. So now let's switch to the render mode. Okay, so now we already have the basic geometry. Let's move these all the things up. I prefer you guys to start to do the model in the original point. So I hope that can be on the same plane, which means this area. Okay, so now let's go to the perspective view and take a look about our rocket. Right now we still can change that because, well, if you want to change the, for example, like the shape of the side wing, let's double click, go inside, choose this part, hold on your shift and control key, select the curve, sorry, let's go that again, do that again, select the poly surface edge, and you can change that, you can move them up, or you can select the face here, and make this one shorter. We still can do this kind of change, and click OK, all the rest that will be changed as well. And probably I want this part could be bigger, so let's hold on shift and control key, select the bottom face, hold on shift key, make this part bigger. Well, so now the shape is different. For this part as well, I hope this one, probably we have to hide all the things right here. So let's control H, height, choosing the face and enlarge this part. And maybe make this part longer. Okay, and turn on everything. Alright, so this is our rocket design. Right now I think it looks okay. Let's turn off the ISO curve. Okay, so this is the basic shape of the rocket. So for the next part, we are going to add more detail. And you may find out for this model, actually it looks a little bit different from this one. If we select this model, there are a lot of wireframe on the surface, and you cannot turn off them because this one is a mesh model. For mesh model, it's way more easier to use in mesh modeling to make some organic stuff, but it's very hard to make the mesh modeling very precise. So anyway, but for all of them, basically we can use them to do pretty much the same things. So anyway, I think this is all for the tutorial today. For the next time, we are going to make detail like this, and also probably make some window on the side. So that's all. See you next time.